Hey, what's up guys, welcome back to another video. In today's video we're going to be placing bets on 12 numbers. The 12 numbers we're going to be covering, as you can see on the wheel, from number 27, 13, 36, 11, 30, etc. They're all located on one section of the wheel. It gives us a 1 in 3 chance of winning. There are 36 numbers on the wheel excluding the 0. So we have a pretty good chance. The way we're going to place those bets, we are going to be using a split bet. For those of you not familiar with a split bet, it's basically you place a unit between two numbers. It pays 17 to 1. So let's place our bets, and as we go along I'll show you how the progression works. Okay, so that's the 12 numbers we have there. It cost us 6 units using a split bet to cover those 12 numbers. So the progression we're going to be using, we're going to play for 3 spins. We're going to see if we get a best out of 3, if we win 2 spins out of 3, and I'll show you how the progression works. So this is spin number 1. So we lose spin number 1. So we're going to rebet. This is spin number 2. We lose on spin number 2. That's 2 losses. We go for spin number 3. And we have 3 losses in a row. So when we have 3 losses in a row, we're going to increase our bets by 2 units. So we're going to rebet and add 2 units to each of our bets. So as you can see, we now have 3 units placed on each bet. So we're going to start from spin 1. We started with 300 units. So we lose on spin 1. Spin number 2. And we have a hit on spin number 2. So we check our profits. We started at 300. We're back at 300. So it's either we go for the third spin using 3 units and we risk our bankroll, which is not really the smart thing to do. As we're back on 300, we should restart the progression back with 1 unit. But if you want to go for the kill, you can go for betting 3 units for the third spin and play for the double win. But we're going to be playing safe. We're going to be using the 300 unit bankroll, and our main goal is to protect our 300 unit bankroll. So we're going to restart at 1 unit on each of the split bets. So we're playing for anything over 300 units. When we're in profit, then we can probably take those risks, but we're not going to take it as we're now getting started. So we have a win. If we had played with the 3 units, we would have made a higher profit, but there's no way to know for sure if we would have had a win or not. But now that we have a win, we're 12 units in profit, so we're not going to think about the pass. That's 12 units, so we're going to restart. We're not going to go for a spin number 2 because we're already in profit. So we're going to restart at spin number 1. We're playing for anything greater than 12 units in profit. This is spin number 2. So we lose on spin number 2. That's 2 losses. Spin number 3. And we lose all 3 spins. So therefore we increase by 2 units. So we double and we add 1 to each. So there's 3 units. We're going to start at spin 1. We lose spin 1, spin number 2, we're down 24 units. We lose on spin number 2. This is spin number 3. So that's 3 losses. So we're going to add 2 units again after we have 3 losses in a row. So we were playing at 3 units on each bet, so it's now going to be 5 units. So this is spin number 1. We're down 60 units. Spin number 2. Third and final spin. And we have a hit on our third spin. So we're losing 2 and we're winning 1. So when we're losing 2 and winning 1, we're just going to add 1 unit to each of our bets. So we're up at 6 units on each of our bets. So we're down 60 units. This is spin number 1. So we lose spin number 1. Spin number 2. That's 2 losses. Spin number 3. And we have a hit on spin number 3. So we are lost 2 and win 1. We're just going to increase by 1 unit. So now we're up to 7 units. This is spin number 1. We are down 60 units. Spin number 2. Our third spin. So we lose all 3 spins. We're going to increase by 2 units. So we're up to 9 units on each of our bets. Spin number 1. And we have a hit. We're still down. We're up to 222. So we're going to go for spin number 2. We're down 78 units. So we're winning 1 and losing 1. We go for spin number 3. So we're losing 2 and winning 1. So we're going to increase by 1 unit. Spin number 1. And we have a hit. So we're up to 234. We're still down 66 units. Spin number 2. So we lose on spin number 2. So we're winning 1, losing 1. Spin number 3. and we have a hit on spin number 3. So that's we're winning 2 and we're losing 1. So we're going to subtract one unit from each of our bets, and we start from spin number 1. So we're down 6 units. Spin number 2. That's 2 losses. And spin number 3. That's 3 losses in a row. So we're going to increase by 2 units. So we're up to 11 units on one bet. This is spin number 1. We lose on spin number 1. So this is our last 66 units from our 300 unit bankroll. So if we lose this, we're out. This is spin number 2. And we have a hit. So we're going to go for spin number 3. We're down 102. And we have a double hit. So we check profits. We're up to 330. So that's our new target. Anything over 330. So we're going to restart the progression at 1 unit. So this is spin number 1. As long as we're in profit, we're going to restart. As you can see, it took us down to the last 66 units we had. So we're up to 342. So we're going to restart. Spin 1. We have another hit. So we're up to 354. Anything greater than 354, we're going to restart. This is spin number 1. And we have another hit. So we're up to 366. So you can see, guys, we had a little tough run there, but we're having a streak on the same section of the wheel. So we restart at spin 1. I'm just using a 300 unit bankroll, but if you have more, you can use more. You don't necessarily need to play at a $1 wager. You can play at 50 cents, 25 cents, all depends on the funds that you have. So again, we have another win. So that's, we're up to 378. That's 78 units in profit. So we're going to restart at spin 1. So as I told you guys in my past videos, I make realistic videos, guys. So you can see I went down to my last 66 units and last bet on the 300 unit bankroll. So we have a loss on spin 1, so we're going to rebet. This is spin number 2. We're playing for anything greater than 378. So that's 2 losses. This is spin number 3. And we have 3 losses in a row. So we're going to increase our bets by 2 units. So we rebet, we double, and we're going to add 1 unit. So we're up to 3 units on each bet. This is spin number 1. Spin number 2. And we have a hit on spin number 2. So we check our profits. We're up to 378. So we can go for the kill for the third spin, but we're looking to protect our bankroll. So I'm going to restart at 1 unit and play safe. So that's always the best way to play safe, because if we have a streak again, you never know how things gonna go. So we are up at 378. Anything greater than 378, this is spin number 1. So we have a hit. Again, if you had continued, we'd have profit more, but we're not going to take those chances. So we're up to 390. Restart at spin number 1. So we lose on spin number 1. We lose again. So that's 2 losses. And we go for our third spin. So we have a win on our third spin. So that's 2 losses and 1 win. The progression tells us that we should add 1 unit, increase by 1 unit. But if we look at our balance, we're still at 90 units in profit just by that one win we got. Don't mind we lost 2. So I'm not going to increase. I'm going to play it safe until I have a stronger bankroll. So I'm just going to restart at spin number 1. And we lose on spin number 1. Spin number 2. Looking for anything greater than 90 units. And spin number 3. So you see, guys, if we had increased, we got 2 losses in a row, now 3 losses in a row. So it's a good thing we played safe and restarted with 1 unit. So now that we have lost all 3 spins, we can increase by 2 units. So we're up to 3 units on each of our bets. This is spin number 1. We're playing for anything greater than 90 units profit. And we have a hit. So we're up to 408. That's 108 in profit. So you see, guys, you gotta know, don't take those chances when you're now trying to build your bankroll. Sometimes it doesn't pay off to take those risks. It's always better to play safe until you have a stronger bankroll. So we're going to restart at spin 1. So we're using 1 unit, and this is spin 1. We're looking for anything greater than 108. So we have a loss on spin 1. Spin number 2. And we have a hit on spin 2. We check our profits. So we're up to 414. That's 114 in profit. So we're going to restart 1 unit, spin number 1. So we lose spin number 1, spin number 2, and we have a hit on spin number 2. So we're going to restart. We're up at 420. So we're up at 120 profit. We're going to restart anything greater than 120. Spin number 1. So we have another hit. We're up in profit. So we're up to 432. We rebet and restart at spin 1. And we have another hit. So we're having a streak on those 12 numbers. So we're up to 444. So we're going to restart at spin 1. So we lose on spin 1. We're looking for anything greater than 144 in profit. So we rebet. This is spin number 2. That's 2 losses. Spin number 3. And that's 3 in a row that we lose. So we increase each of our bets with 2 units. Spin number 1. Looking for anything greater than 144. Spin number 2. We're still in profit at 108. So we have a hit. We check our profits. We're looking for anything greater than 144. So we're back to 144. As you can see in our session win. So I'm not going to risk it. I'm going to restart at 1 unit. So we restart at 1 unit. This is spin number 1. So we lose on spin number 1. Spin number 2. And we have a 0. So that's 2 losses. Spin number 3. And that's 3 losses in a row. So we're going to raise by 2 units. This is spin number 1. Spin number 2. Spin number 3. So we lose all 3. So we're going to increase by 2 again. So we're up to 5 units on each bet. This is spin number 1. We're still in profit of 72 units. Spin number 2. That's 2 losses. We go for spin number 3. And we have a hit on spin number 3. So we're going to increase our bets by 1 unit. So the only reason I'm increasing by 1 unit is because we're down. So we lost 2 and we win 1. We don't necessarily need to increase 1 unit, but I'm just doing it in this case to try to catch back up, because we were on 144 profit and we're down to 72 units in profit. So this is spin number 1. So we lose spin number 1. Spin number 2. Still in profit of 36 units. So we lose on spin number 2. And we're now back to a 300 bankroll. So we're still not losing, we're just losing all the profits we just made. So this is spin number 3. And we lose all 3 spins. So we're now up to 8 units on each bet. Spin number 1, we're down to the 6 units, and we have a hit on spin number 1. So we're going to go for spin number 2. We're playing for a double win, and we have that double win. So we check our profits, and we're up to 456. So we started with 300 units. We're now 156 in profit. That's more than 50% profit of our bankroll. So this is just a few minutes in one session, so we can take a break, come back again, and go for another 50% and make an entire 100% profit on our entire bankroll, which is 300 units. Now, if you have a bigger bankroll, you can play with it, or as I said, you can play with smaller wagers. You can use a 50-cent wager or a 25-cent wager. So as you can see, you will have some streaks where you have wins, and you will have streaks that you have losses, but the numbers are located on one section of the wheel, so it gives you a pretty good chance of winning. So we just made a 50% profit on our bankroll, which is really good just for a few minutes. So if you do this 2 times a day, that's 100% profit on your 300 bankroll. So it's a fun strategy, guys. You'll get used to it.